Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Friday morning here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go to our friends over in the US in particular. We're heading to Central Arkansas in particular. And of course, their conference season is coming up very soon, of course, in the next couple of weeks. And of course, we've got two very special guest joins right now from the Central Arkansas women's basketball team to tell us a bit about I guess their preparations heading up to the conference season very soon. Thanks, both of you, for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to hear another Australian accent. Yeah.
Now, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position we'll get to see both of you play on the court this coming season.
I'm Hannah. I'm a senior, and I play post. This will be my fourth year here.
I'm Lauren. I'm a guard, so I'm a junior, so this will be my third year going on, and I'm usually a combo guard, so I kind of move from different types of positions, so you'll probably see me play a lot of different positions this season.
Tell us a bit about, I guess, the preparations heading up to the conference season. Obviously, it's a pretty different preparation to normal, obviously with what's been happening with COVID at the moment. How has it been like?
Hannah, you can say, because Hannah's on her fourth year, so she's been at this program for a really long time, so she'll probably be able to give you a little bit more detail on like how it's different this season compared to other seasons. So yeah.
So normally we have boys come in and like our practice players come and practice against us, and due to COVID, we can't have that anymore. So it's a lot of like just the team going against each other. And as far as the preseason, we're playing a lot higher conference teams. We normally had a couple like lower teams come. We have a lot more home games normally. But due to so many seasons being postponed or canceled and like COVID, we've had a lot of bigger schools, and sometimes it's just the case of we don't know if we're going to play or like when our next game's going to be due to like cancellations. So we're a lot more on our toes this year.
I guess, how have you managed to, juggle, I guess, games that, you haven't had a chance to play against teams that obviously their season had to come to an end due to obviously their conference being cancelled? How has the team managed to juggle that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing it would be a big challenge for our coaches because they're trying to organize games and some of them get cancelled. Like we had a game get cancelled this Saturday. So our coaches were like trying to get together another game to prepare. So they're playing K-State on Saturday, and I think with those changes, it makes it a little bit harder to prepare because, a college team, we watch film, we do scout, we're looking at personnel on other like teams, other players. So, and we usually prepare for the team that we're going to be playing. So when you have a shift in what team you're playing, then we're having to like adjust quickly and try and find the scout for the new team that we're playing. So I think that would probably be the most challenging thing that we have to deal with. Yeah.
I think it requires us to focus a lot more on our like fundamental aspect versus we used to come into practice, we would know all their offenses, we would know personnel, and we do that to a certain extent, but it's not as repetitive as it was. I feel like this time it's a lot more of us focusing on like ourselves, like developing ourselves and developing our unity as a whole. I feel like that's something that we've really been able to work on, functioning more as a unit per se this year versus focusing on other teams, like how focusing on the system, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now tell us a bit about the team itself, and I guess tell us a couple of the. I'm assuming that you got some new players, or I guess freshmen coming through the team that we should maybe watch out for.
Yeah, so I'm actually a new player on this team. I'm a junior, but I'm a transfer from 2-year school because I went to JUCO in Hutchinson, Kansas. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with Tiana Mangakahia or Bridie Hopewadi. They actually went to that JUCO, so they're the reason why I went to that JUCO. So I went through that way, like I went through that process, and then that's how I ended up here because I got recruited here. So I think we, along with me, we have some other transfers from JUCO, and then we have 2 freshmen as well. So we have about 6 new people to the team, and then we have the returners. So we kind of have a like fair half and half on new players and like old players. So I think with the old players, like they've helped all of us like new players kind of adjust to the program pretty well, and they've kind of shown us the standard and that we have to play at. And I think it's a little bit different because I think coming from Australia to like the States, like it is a bit of a shock like coming over here because you know the style of play is so different to how it is back home. It's a lot faster and it's a lot more competitive than it is back home. And I think the difference is like for me coming from my last program to this program is like I've had 2 years of experience being at a strong judo program that's helped me develop like over the last 2 years. And so it's kind of like I'm still kind of back at that stage, like almost like freshman year, learning everything new again. But it's kind of like you're used to like the standard of having to work hard and be in practice every day. So like I think that's helped a lot. So yeah.
We've had new players this year, but this is the most returners that I've had since I've been here come back. As far as people coming, I feel like they brought a lot to the team, and we've had a lot of leaderships, people with like a leadership skill set come in. Recently, Delisa Outlaw, she was a redshirt freshman, but she's been doing pretty well. She's been surprising. Like she came in and put up a lot of like good minutes for us. It's been like an offensive threat. Lucy eBay has come in with like spurts of energy. I feel like this team has a lot of threats, and it might possibly be one of the best well-rounded teams to have as far as threats at like all spots. So if a game we have a heavy post threat, say our post can get the job done that game. The next game it could be our guards, and I feel like that's a strength this year is that we have the ability to pick and choose where we're going to attack at.
Tell us a bit about your amazing coaching staff there at Central Arkansas, and I guess how much have they? How much have you learnt from them coaching both of you?
So one thing that Coach Rushing, our head coach, teaches really big is defense, and she is a very fundamental coach. A lot of times coming in, players haven't really been drilled fundamentally. And since I've been here, that's the biggest thing. Like my freshman year, I was like, "Ooh, I like defense." Coach is like, "No one likes defense." I was like, "I like defense. I block people. I'm tall." Coming in, I knew nothing about defense, like literally nothing. So I think that's something that's like huge in this aspect. And her and then Coach Connor, he's one of our assistant coaches. Both of them have I don't know how many years of experience, like decades and decades of experience. And so I feel like a lot of different just like the little things, like we preach about little things like make huge differences in the game, such as just like the positioning on blocking out or something. They've helped focus and like learn a lot about those like minute details that cause big differences in games.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff here, they've been really great. You know, they help us out on the court, off the court. You know, they're always there. They care about every single thing that we do. And I think coming into this program, like you really see like the coaching staff and the passion that they have for the game. I think that's what I love most about it. And you know, Coach Rushing, she's a tough coach, but she pushes you to be your best on the court and give your best 100% every time you're on the floor. And you know, they've got so much experience and they really know the game inside and out. And you know, they bring a lot of energy like within our team to, you know, fight to the very end. And I think, you know, it's a special program because the coaches really kind of drill in all the detailed things and they really try and make each and every player kind of live up to their potential. And I think, you know, they really try and get the best out of each player because every person on our team like brings something different to our team. Like, you know, not every single player is the same type of player. So I think she tries to really like bring it all together. And I think that's what makes the team special is when you can use each and every person to their strengths. So yeah.
Tell us, how did both of you get involved in basketball and why did you choose it?
So my dad actually played. He played in the NBA, and then he went overseas and played in a couple different countries. And so for me, growing up, like we followed him around. Like I was always like, "Oh, basketball!" And I was actually a dancer until I was in like until we moved to Kentucky, which is where I'm from now. And starting basketball, I did not like it really. I was horrible at it. I was really bad. And so but it was at first it was something to do with my friends, and then when I realized like I was actually good, like after I practiced and I was like, oh wow, I kind of like this. And then just being able to like compete and having that family behind you. I played a lot of different sports, but basketball, I feel like you rely on everybody, like even the people who aren't on the court, like you rely on them, like they're still your team, and like at the end of the day they have your back. And I feel like that was a huge thing as far as like, I don't know, just being able to be in that atmosphere of like family. I feel like that was a big thing for me.
I actually got into basketball like a lot later than like most people would, and I know when I started like in sports growing up, I actually started off with track and field, and then I did netball, which is a sport that we have in Australia, and I played rugby as well. But basketball was actually the last one that I started, and I started when I got to high school. And I think I don't know what it was about basketball, but like it just kind of instantly like was my favorite. Like I just enjoyed that you can do so many different things on the floor. Like there's so many different things to do, and I feel like that's kind of the game that I like to play. Like I don't want to be just one thing. I like to be a lot of different other things. And my cousins at the time like had been playing basketball, and so at the time when I kind of started, he was getting ready to go to college, and he went to Jackson State University. And like when I saw him go through like that like pathway, then I know I started to think about it more, and it was something that I really wanted to do and that I aspired to do. So I know it's been a big goal of mine to actually get here. So to get through like all of what I've gone through, like from JUCO to now, like it's kind of like a dream to be able to be in this position. So yeah.
I guess my next question I'm going to ask, I guess, is pretty similar segue with just that both of you just responded to. What does the sport of basketball mean to both of you, especially now being there at Central Arkansas?
For me, I feel like it's an outlet. At times, it's honestly, it's so many different things to me. At times, it can be an outlet. At times, it can be just like you just go there and like you can be around those people, and then you just throw yourself into it. Like you might have a bad day, but those 4 hours you're at practice, like that's all it is. It's practice. Like you're there, you're getting better. You're learning the different things. I feel like also, of course, we're in college, we're getting it paid for. So for me, I don't know if it was really a joke, but my dad used to be like, you're not going to college. I'm not paying for your college. You have to get a scholarship. So for me, I'm always like, this is like how I got to college. Like, this is my future right now. Like, this is developing me for like down the road. This pays for, my nursing school. This paid for my psychology degree. So for me, it's kind of like, it's that outlet. It's like a double whammy. So it's like that outlet, and I mean that's where I got most of my friends. Like my lifelong friends are from this sport, and it's also for like my business for my future.
Yeah, I think like Hannah said, like it definitely is an outlet. You know, there's a lot of things that you go through when you're an athlete, and just coming in here and being able to work to get better is something great to do. And the education side of it, that the game of basketball, it takes you to a lot of different places. Like I've been to a lot of different places, not just the States. Like I've been to Guam, I've been to New Zealand, I've been to like different things through this game. And I feel like, there's a lot of opportunity in this game as well. Like there's other leagues around the world, and, just the opportunity of being able to get an education from it and get it all paid for. You get a college degree all paid for, you know, just through the game of basketball. And I think that's something that's, a big factor to it as well. But not even just that, it's just, just being able to come out on the court and make yourself better. And I think it teaches like an athlete a lot of discipline and a lot of things about life as well. Not just, it's not all just about the game. There's a lot of other things that you go through as well. And I think going through this process and going through college, like it allows you to grow and become an independent person. and be a leader within the world. So, you know, I think the game provides a lot of different things.
Do either of you have any future ambitions in the sport of basketball post-college?
As of right now, there is a possibility depending on how stuff goes so for Corona, like next year, this is my last year playing here, but due to Corona, we have an extra year to play. Since like last year our tournament got canceled, this year it's like kind of, you know, touch and go. So if there's a possibility that next year I will finish my nursing degree, and then the next year I'll be able to play, like finish my year. And if that happens, there's a possibility that I could possibly travel with it and go like overseas or something. I would rather go overseas, I think, personally. But if not, then I think I'd probably start pursuing like my nursing career.
Yeah, I definitely like after college, like I'm not really looking to end it there. You know, I think the sky's the limit when it comes to the game. I think after I finish college, I probably want to look at coming back home and maybe playing professionally back home. I know there's like a lot of leagues like City Ball and the WNBL and things like that. So I definitely look at going those pathways. That way I get to be playing basketball and still be back home with my family. Um, but then there's also other opportunities, like, you know, to be able to play somewhere else. And if the door opens for that, like I might take something like that, as well. So I know I'm just looking. I still want to keep playing and keep getting better every day. And you know, I'm getting my degree here, so I'm still deciding like what I want to do with it. I'll probably look at trying to do my masters after this as well, so I can kind of focus down on what career path I want to do. So yeah.
Now let's finish off with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, who's the comedian in the team?
Probably Jaleesa. Jaleesa Outlaw.
Yeah. She's definitely a funny one.
We call her grandma sometimes.
Yeah, we call her grandma. She acts like one. She's a funny person. Yeah.
Now, any good singers and dancers in the team we should know about?
So Tori, she's a transfer from Mueller. Her dad used to be a preacher, and she can sing. Like I thought she was like they were talking about it, I thought they were joking, and her voice is so good. Like it shocked me. I was like, I was like, what is that? And dancing, my favorite dancers are probably the twins. There's twins on the Bree and Yanni Trigg, because I don't know how they do it, but they can literally just like mirror each other, like dancing. Like a song will come on and they're like, ooh, and they start dancing the exact same, but like mirrored. Like I don't know if it's a twin thing, but it's cool. It's pretty cool to watch.
They got that twin vibes, yeah.
Now, Lauren, have you convinced Hannah or even any of your other teammates to maybe come down to Australia with you?
Yeah, well, I was actually talking to some yesterday, telling them how there's a lot of Americans that come down to Australia to come and play. Because we have a pretty good league, the WNBL. It's pretty competitive. And I know I tell everybody all the time, Australia is the best country in the world. Like America wants to say it, but I think it's Australia. You know, it's a great place. Really, the people are great. We have great weather. It's a lot better than any other place. So I think hands down it's the best one. So I'm always telling everybody that.
This question also goes to you as well. Now, have any of your teammates tried to put the Australian accent on, and how's that traveling?
Oh my gosh, so many. Like I've had a lot of the guards in my team, like Tori and Rory. Sometimes I'll just say something and then they'll have a bit of a giggle, and then I'll be trying to mimic it as well. And like from my last teams as well, I had a lot of people always trying to do the Australian accent. But honestly, I don't know how. Like I never feel like it's that like hard, but it's people find it really hard to do, and like the Americans, they just sound British, so it doesn't really work out as well. All the difference, so yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, Hannah, have you tried it yourself?
I'm not very good at accents. I don't know if even if I attempted it, no one
I
would
think you should
know. Oh no, I can't even say
have a
something.
go.
Have a go. Is that British? I don't know. No, yeah. I have that Kentucky accent, so it messes up everything else.
I say one. Yeah, there's one thing that Americans don't really understand is that like people always hear saying shrimp on the barbie, but we don't even call it shrimp. We call them prawns. So I don't see how that makes sense at all. So yeah,
Any embarrassing moments by any of you on the court?
what's an embarrassing moment? I feel like I'm kind of still, well, this is my first season, so I haven't really been with everyone enough to like have embarrassing moments. But I know I feel like in games that I've had embarrassing moments, like from like my last team. I remember one time I just missed 2 layups back to back, wide open, and then I just fell, and then the whole crowd was like, "Oh, oh!" I was like, "Okay, just sub me out, just sub me out." I need to recompose myself. But yeah, that was probably embarrassing for me. But do you have one?
One time, we had I don't know, there's a lot, I feel like, but I feel like a lot of them are in practice. Like one practice, okay, I don't know if I should say this, but one of our coaches, like she jumped in and this was last year, I think, but she took a charge and her weave fell off and like she stood up and everyone was like, oh, and I was like, you're on the ground. And then another time, we had a post got the rebound and the guard was like maybe like 4 or 5 foot from her and she like overhead chucked it at the guard and it like hit her face and the guard like froze and like stumbled backwards and we were all like, and like she just kept playing but the guard was just holding her nose. I was like, she was literally 5 foot from you. But that was pretty funny. But
yeah.
Now I think everyone laughs when I try to post up because but I think I can post. I can play games. So people find it funny, but
How good is to play with each other on the same team?
I think it's great. Like I know Hannah's a post and I'm a guard, so usually we'll work together and things like that. And I know I feel like Hannah's game, like she would fit really well with like the game that we play back home as well. So it kind of like I kind of like that combo, like being able to play with her because it kind of feels a little bit similar to how we play back home. So yeah, yeah.
I think Lauren has a very high IQ, which I love. And so sometimes we can just talk and she's like, this. I'm like, you're so smart. Like, this is what I'm thinking. Whenever she got here, she was like, I'm not she's like, I don't really shoot. I'm not really a shooter. And she came in and she was shooting the threes. And I was just like, I just keep passing them to her to shoot the three. And I'm like, shoot it. And she was making them. And I was like, you're not a shooter. You're not a shooter. But yeah, she's so lighthearted. I love playing with Lauren. Like, I think she's so smart and she knows the game and she's a hard worker. Like she can score at all levels. So I really enjoy. I'm glad Coach brought her on.
So, like more things about Hannah, like Hannah's game, like she's a really like strong post for us, and she's kind of like the post that can move around everywhere on the floor as well. So she's very versatile, and to be honest, I think she's a great shooter. Like she can pull up whenever she wants to, she'll hit them. So you can kind of always rely on her because she's had 4 years of experience here. And she's kind of the leader in our team, so she gets everything going, and she's the loudest on the court all the time. So that helps, and I feel like that's helped me adjust as well. So yeah.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. We would like to send our best wishes to your team coming up for the upcoming conference season, and let's hope you can go all the way and win it all in the World Conference, and hopefully go away and win it all in obviously in the postseason.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It was great being able to speak to you today. Yeah.
No worries. And that's Lauren and Hannah. They're joined us from the Central Arkansas women's basketball team. Of course, if you want to follow them and support them throughout the season, of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can follow them on the website and as well as on their socials as the season goes along. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Friday edition.